I mentioned last hour a record 20.5 million jobs lost in April. Unemployment rate up to 14.7%. That said, the stock market up 455 points, or 1.9% today. You know why? Because business people believe that the worst is behind us. All this monetary fiscal policy stuff. And as the president said, he believes things are going to come back and come back big, and I think they will.
It's a big moment in our history because we're opening up our country again. People are coming out. They're starting to go around and see what's happening. They've been sort of shut down, as the expression goes. But we're opening up our country. People want our country to open up. Now, we want to do it in a safe way. We want to make sure safety, you know all about social distancing and washing your hands and all of the things that we're supposed to do. And something I think that's important to say, because I've been okay at this kind of thing, our economy. It's going to come back very, very strong. You know, we built the greatest economy anywhere in the world, nobody even close. Greater than China by far, greater than anybody. Nobody was even close. I did it once, we're going to do it again. And it's going to be just as strong by the time we have it done. And it's going to be a lot sooner than anybody would understand. We're going to have an incredible next year, and I look forward to it.
Now, he mentioned the economy. Here's what Nancy Pelosi recently said about the economy.
Joe Biden is Joe. And again, he brings those values and his personal experience to a vision for America that is about fairness and not trickle-down economics, but bubble up from that kitchen table from working families in our country.
Okay, you heard that? And not trickle-down economics, but bubble up. Here's the History Channel. Listen to this.
Reagan's solution was an economic plan that became to be known by his supporters and critics alike as Reaganomics. Reaganomics was heavily based on the trickle-down theory. This argues that if you lower costs...
All right. You hear that? Heavily based on the trickle-down theory. Nancy Pelosi.
Joe Biden is Joe. And again, he brings those values and his personal experience to a vision for America that is about fairness and not trickle-down economics. But
Reagan's solution was an economic plan that became to be known by his supporters and critics alike as Reaganomics. Reaganomics was heavily based on the trickle-down theory.
All right. Now, I know a number of you who listen to the program have studied economics. You know I'm going to ask next. Name the economist who came up with the theory called trickle-down. And you know why you can't? Because there isn't one. It is a demeaning term to describe a very simple and serious policy position, which is the more money you leave in people's pockets, the more likely they are to spend it more productively than can government. Period. Another way of calling it is supply-side economics. Arthur Laffer. But there is no economic theory called trickle-down. Not Ludwig von Mises, not F.A. Hayek, not Milton Friedman, not Walter Williams, not Thomas Sowell. It is a demeaning expression that the left uses, and they've used it and used it and used it, and now it's just part of the lexicon. Same people that wouldn't dare call an illegal alien will call an economic philosophy simply known as supply-side economics or free markets. They call that trickle-down. Now, Jack Kennedy, when he explained why he supported a dramatic tax cut, when Jack Kennedy was in, the top marginal rate was 90%. He proposed cutting it down to 70%. A far deeper tax cut, by the way, than George W. Bush did. And he said, a rising tide lifts all boats. And said the same thing that is demeaned and dismissed by people like Nancy Pelosi and by that guy at the History Channel as trickle-down. There is no economic philosophy known as trickle-down. It is a demeaning way of dismissing and making a caricature out of a very serious and simple concept, which is leave the money in the pockets of the people to the fullest extent possible. Duh! Now, do you know who came up with that term, trickle-down? Who first said it? Will Rogers. In a newspaper column in 1923. He used to be the man. He used to write a newspaper column. He was a movie star. He wrote books. He was kind of the philosopher-in-chief of America, and wrote a piece opposing a tax cut by Herbert Hoover and said, well, you know, he is an engineer, and he knows that water high trickles down low, and he thinks it's going to trickle down, but, you know, and dismissed it and used the term trickle down. That's where it came from. From there to the point now where you have a guy on the History Channel, of all places. History Channel, down the middle, fair and true. History Channel.
Reagan's solution was an economic plan that became to be known by his supporters and critics alike as Reaganomics. Reaganomics was heavily based on the trickle-down theory.
Honestly. And they get away with it. You can't call an illegal alien an illegal alien. That's racist. They're undocumented. But we have no problem trashing a very serious economic policy that, by the way, got Ronald Reagan reelected 49 states to 1. We have no problem trashing that and calling it trickle down and acting like it's a real term that serious economists actually employ. They don't.